Hello and welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute-a-day podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse, recorded here in the dining room of the Bible Bistro, located in Sharonville, Ohio. Hey there, friend. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. Come on in here and sit down with me. Get yourself something hot or cold to drink, and let's open our Bibles up to Psalm 77. And today we're looking at verses 7 through 9. Now, this is going to conclude the second section. The first section was verses 1 through 3, introduces the trouble. Verses 4 through 9 introduce the pondering over the trouble and the questions. And I said yesterday, we have 6 questions here. So I'm going to read verses 7, 8, and 9, and we'll read through these questions. Will the Lord cast off forever? And will he be favorable no more? Is his mercy clean gone forever? Doth his promise fail forevermore? Hath God forgotten to be gracious? Hath he in his anger shut up his tender mercies? Now you'll notice just how similar these are in a poetic sense. Now remember, Hebrew poetry, in most cases you have an A line and a B line. So it's a couplet. You have 2 lines. The first line is mirrored most of the time by the second line. So in this case, in verse 7, will the Lord cast off forever? Will he be favorable no more? So the first line is cast off. Will he be favorable no more? And notice how forever and no more work in in mirroring one another. It's the same idea. So it's forever a deal. It's never again is it going to ever happen. And then again, the same thing in 8. Is his mercy clean gone forever? Doth his promise fail forevermore? So again, eternity is invoked in both 7 and in 8. His mercy and his promise. Now in 9 we have, hath God forgotten to be gracious? Hath he in his anger shut up his tender mercies? Graciousness and the tender mercy of God, those are similar terms, and so we have them as mirror images of one another here in this 9th verse. Also notice in 9 what you have is, hath God forgotten? Now that stands in contrast really to the psalmist's use of remember. So in verse 3 he said, I remembered God and was troubled. In 6, he said, I called to remembrance my songs in the night. And then here in 9, he says, has God forgotten? So apparently the psalmist thinks that he can remember stuff, but God can't. Yeah, it sounds like us, doesn't it? Yeah, we attribute to God failure because, of course, we're so good at remembering things. We're so good at remembering things, surely God's forgotten. Because I remember, and if I remember, how come he can't remember? And if he could remember, then he would do something. You see, so hath God forgotten to be gracious is such a human expression. Well, I mean, that is just so us. We are so self-centered. I can remember all kinds of things. How come God can't? Yeah. We attribute to him our own very weaknesses, don't we? Will the Lord cast off forever? Will he be favorable no more? This is a phrase that we hear again and again. Psalm 43, 44, 60, and 74 all contain similar phrases. So that's the very first question. Second question, will he be favorable no more? Third question, is his mercy clean gone forever? Fourth question, doth his promise fail forevermore? Fifth question, has God forgotten to be gracious? And then the last one, has he shut up his anger? As he in anger shut up his tender mercies? Well, I think the answer to all those is no, but of course it's valid for the psalmist to ask them because he's suffering. And so we understand why he would ask these questions. We know the answer is no, God's not going to cast off forever. His faithfulness is not done. His mercy is not clean gone. I love the King James, the way they translate that there. And God certainly hasn't forgotten to be gracious. He never forgets to be gracious. That's what he delights to do. Well, anyway, so these are our questions. We understand them. Now we're going to come tomorrow to some answers. So I hope you'll join me then. here on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. For more fresh and delicious Bible studies, podcasts, books, and more, check out the Bible Bistro online and on YouTube. Join me again next time for Daily Dose Radio.